to our second story, and it gets even a little more technical, but at the heart of the story, I think, again, we're just sort of exposing the fraud on both sides. CrowdStrike revises and retracts part of the explosive Russian hacking report. This via Liberty Blitzkrieg, where last week Michael Krieger, who runs Liberty Blitzkrieg, published 2 posts on the cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike after becoming aware of inaccuracies on one of its key reports used to bolster the claim that operatives of the Russian government had hacked into the DNC. This is, of course, important since the DNC hired CrowdStrike to look into its hack and at the same time denied the FBI access to its server. So the latest developments from Voice of America: U.S. cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike has revised and retracted statements it used to buttress claims of Russian hacking during last year's American presidential election campaign. CrowdStrike was first to link hacks of Democratic Party computers to Russian actors last year, but some cybersecurity experts have questioned its evidence. Then, on March 23rd, CrowdStrike walked back key parts of its Ukraine report. The company removed language that said Ukraine's artillery lost 80% of the Soviet-era D-30 howitzers, which used aiming software that was purportedly hacked. Instead, the revised report cites figures of 15 to 20% losses in combat operations. Finally, CrowdStrike deleted a statement saying, quote, "Deployment of this malware-infected application may have contributed to the high-loss nature of this platform," end quote, meaning the howitzers, and excised entirely a link sourcing its IISS data, international something of strategic acronyms, data to a blogger in Russia-occupied Crimea. So in an email to VOA News, CrowdStrike noted that the FBI and the U.S. intelligence community concluded that Russia was behind the hacks of the DNC, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, the DCCC, and, of course, the email account of John Podesta. Yes, the FBI agreed with CrowdStrike's conclusion, but the FBI didn't analyze the DNC servers because the DNC specifically denied the FBI access. Liberty Blitzkrieg wraps up by noting this is noteworthy in its own right, but takes on vastly increased significance given the serious errors in a related hacking report produced by the company. That report, now the company itself, CrowdStrike, kind of quietly backing away from. James?
It's an absolutely incredible thing to watch this narrative unraveling, but unraveling on the, in the back page of the second section of the newspaper, as it were, rather than A1. The headlines make A1. The retraction makes somewhere near the back of the third section of the paper, as always. So yes, just for anyone paying attention at home, or at least trying to pay attention, the fundamental central claims of that the DNC was hacked by Russia were based on this analysis by CrowdStrike, not by the FBI. The FBI did not get access to the DNC servers. They didn't let the FBI analyze the servers. They let CrowdStrike, this independent organization, come in and analyze the servers, and they gave that analysis over to the FBI. CrowdStrike is now having to retract their claims of Russian hacking in Ukraine because, people started challenging them and they realized, okay, we can't put up that charade any longer. But hey, so what does that say about that DNC analysis? And just to make it even more explicit, Michael Krieger had another article from last week that I'll link people to. What is CrowdStrike? In which he has this little passage. The firm's CTO and co-founder, Dmitry Alperovich, is a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council, a think tank with openly anti-Russian sentiments that is funded by Ukraine billionaire Viktor Pinchuk, who also happened to donate at least $10 million to the Clinton Foundation. Surprise, surprise, guys, it's all an inside operation to come to the conclusion that it was the Russians. This is where the whole Russian hacking meme nonsense is coming from, and it is being exposed as garbage. But again, it's the retraction is never the headline, except on New World Next Week, I guess.
I had to look up. I didn't feel right just saying, that acronym. It's the International Institute for Strategic Studies. So we'll, of course, include that as well as the What is CrowdStrike article from Liberty Blitzkrieg, just like we include everything else that we say and play and note and source down in the show notes for these episodes.